While I wait for some people to get on here, tonight we're going to talk about EDIL. Don't forget to follow us on Bossed Up Academy on Facebook. Like us and share our page. We have our YouTube channel up and going where we're going to be putting updates in reference to navigating COVID-19. Also on Instagram, follow Bossed Up Academy there as well. We've got some people on. Feel free to ask questions, give your input. But what I'm going to do is to show you tonight how will you get your EDIL money. A lot of people do not understand how this works. Okay, you apply for the grant for $10,000. That's where you went directly on the SBA website, put in your information, you put in your gross income, you put the cost of goods, and you listed that stuff out, put your contact information. Most people, if you were a sole proprietor, you got $1,000. Then if you had employees, you got $1,000 per employee up to 10 employees. So with that being said, most sole proprietors got only $1,000. Well, the information that you put in to get your grant is what they're going to use to calculate your loan. That's why the grant program was called EDIL, Economic Disaster Injury Loan, because there was a loan piece to the grant. The grant was to get you over the hump until they could process your loan application. So that was to get you over the hump. That money, if you are approved for a loan, you can be approved up to $500,000. And I'm going to show you what formula that they have leaked to the public to help determine that amount of money. And what kind of things, once you get that email, what kind of things you need to look for to figure out if you want to take the loan or not. These loans are in between 3 to about 4%. And on these loans, they're going to take whatever they advanced you on the grant, it's going to be taken out of the loan. So if they gave you $1,000 and they approve you for a $38,000 loan, then they're going to take out $1,000, which is going to leave you $37,000 on your loan because they've already advanced you the $1,000. So I'm going to share my screen with you all so that we can see how this actually works. So if you can see now my screen, so when you did your application, you gave them the gross. That means how much did I bring in before taxes, before any bills was paid. And I'm going to use round numbers for the purpose of this exercise. So I put in $100,000 was my cost of good. Was my gross that I brought in. Now I'm going to subtract the cost of goods. Your cost of goods. And some people were looking, they might have, if you fill this out wrong and they decline your loan, then you're going to have the opportunity to go back in and fix it. So your cost of good on this particular application is going to include some of your fixed costs, some of your expenses for your business, if you do not actually have that line filled out on your taxes. So you want to use all of your expenses for the cost of goods. So say my cost of good was $60,000. That's my telephone, my light bill, my rent, all of those things. So it's going to be $100,000 of what I brought in minus $60,000, which is going to equal $40,000 that's left over. Now they're going to take that $40,000 They're going to divide it by 12 because there are 12 months in a year. So I'm going to get my calculator out for that. So the 40,000 divided by 12 months is going to give me $3,033.33. So the purpose of this, I'm going to put $3,033.33. Now they're going to give me 6 months. So I'm going to multiply that by 6. So that tells me that I'm eligible for a loan, if approved, for $20,000. This loan can be paid off, and they got different terms for it, but it's about a 3 to 4% interest rate. So now you qualify for a $20,000 loan. But if they gave you $1,000 as advancement, now you're only going to get $19,000. So, and in some of these are 15, 20 years to pay back. So you need to make sure that you saved your application number. And I posted the other day where you can go, if you didn't get the email and get a login, you can go and call the number in the link that I provided the other day and get them to give you an update. Well, after you fill out your application, you got an application number to reference. So when you call in, make sure you have your application number. They will tell you if it's with an SBA loan officer or not. And if it is, or if it has gone to the loan officer, they will tell you what date. And right now, because there's so many applications that are in process, then they will, since there's so many applications in process, it's about a 5 to a 6 week turnaround that they have to answer you. Hey, thank you, Sean Carter. We're talking about EDIL, the economic disaster injury loan through the SBA. And this loan is directly through SBA. So you want to make sure that you are aware. They are going back and looking at giving you the $10,000 grant. So then that will reduce your loan amount. So if you qualify for the $10,000 and now they decide to go back because they're still going back and forth and finalizing a lot of these details, then you can possibly now your loan for your payback be only $10,000 instead of $19,000. So they are still looking at, awarding you the $10,000 through your loan. So just stay on top of it. Here at Boss Up Academy, I'll continue to post updates so that you will be aware. Also, make sure you checking your junk and your spam to make sure, because these things are time sensitive, because they got so many people that they are pulling through. They need you to know if you're still interested or not. So they want you to answer within 24 hours of getting that email. I would advise you to immediately go in. And if you don't want to accept the total amount, you feel like that's too much, then you can ask, you can do a reduction in what you want to ask for. But it's better to have than not to have. And with it being in the air, we don't have a crystal ball. But what if they decide to forgive this loan like they did PPP and you missed out? So because they're going back and forth about stuff, I would suggest you go ahead and apply and see what you can get. And if you don't need the money, give it back. If you can use the money, use it and expand your business or keep yourself afloat during COVID-19. Also, if you are getting some of this money and it'll help you bounce back. And if you haven't been filing your taxes, this may be a great opportunity to leverage yourself to pay those past due taxes so you can get straight with the IRS and move forward, or for you to be able to pay taxes so that you can apply for other loans because you are now able to show income and not a loss because you did not have the money to pay. So I would use this as a way to leverage yourself and your business so that you become a more sustainable business and you can stay in business, survive COVID-19, and actually come out of COVID-19 a lot stronger than you were going into COVID-19. So I would encourage you to take a look. And if you got on here late, you can look and see how I did the formula. But right now you need to be checking your spam and your regular email on a regular basis, because nobody's going to call you to ask you about these loans. So you need to be watching that database, and I would encourage you to do so.